Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Rio, and today we're going to be doing my Swashbuckler 3v3, setup and gear guide, all that good stuff. Go over some companion setups, and yeah. So, let's just get right into it. So, first, let's go over our hats. Now, the main two hats that I use are these two. Tanto Jutsu Headband and Gambler's Stetson. Now, I farmed this from, I think I farmed Santa Rana in a group before. I got it in like 3 runs. And then this I got while I was farming Lopan for copies of my Stitch Cloak. I got that pretty easily because I'm in a group of 4. So if you want to farm either of these, farm it in a group of 4. So, Swash, good to carry some shields. And, you don't need like loads and loads of assassins and whatnot. Because a lot of the times you're going to be slowly poisoning them to death and just staying in hide for a lot of the time. So it's good to have, a decent amount of shields. So, Valor's armor or fort, a fort, obviously nice, or a VA, both very nice alternatives. It's nice to have a shield, so that's what I usually run for my hat. Now, the other options that I could see using, I guess if you do not have a vicious charge on your pet, a brutal charge on your pet, you can run a vicious charge. And if you did not really feel like you needed the shield, you could run the corrupted Shinobi's Haratare, or if you don't have the fort or whatever, it's some extra solid hits. It's not a bad option. For the coat, I primarily use this corrupted Shinobi's Gi. Sometimes I'll use the Shalaquan Vestment. Either of these work, the Revive coat. This one I got from Tower Mu Manchu, and this I got from farming Lopan. The Revive can be nice, but I primarily like the extra hide and poison, since Swashbuckler's job is going to be poisoning them to death, and staying hidden is usually what you're going to be doing. So yeah. The other options, you could run a vicious charge. Once again, if you don't have it on your pet, it could be worth running one. But if you already have a brutal charge on your pet, then I don't really think it's that worth it. You could run Levy Call Robe, maybe if you don't have enough forts or whatever. This is an alternative. But primarily, I would recommend either using the Heal or the Walk in Darkness and Gloom. Final option is a bit cheesy, but you could run the Uncanny Shot Robe. This I got from Lopan, and this I got from Obsidian Boss Group Chests, just farming it in a group before. This Uncanny Shot, if you were very cheesy, you could run with a Buccaneer, and you could Uncanny Shot. If you go second and he goes third, you Uncanny Shot, and then the Buccaneer can Frenzy. But that's such a, it's not going to happen enough. It's such a specific scenario that I don't really find it worth it myself. And I also do not run Hybrid. Next, for the boots. Now, I mainly will run Fort Boots. Now, there's 2 different options, Shoes of Faunus and Boots of Sanctuary. This I got from farming Lopan, and this I got from Obsidian Bosses, farming them in a group of 4. Now, the main difference is that one of them gives plus 11 agility, the other one gives plus 8 weapon power. It also gives 3 more dodge, Shoes of Faunus, but I prefer the extra agility for more crit poisons and whatnot, since Swashbucklers, they're not even meant to be attacking that much, so I don't find the weapon power quite as useful. But really, if you have either of these, it's not a stat-based game. The powers matter a lot more, so either of them will work just fine. I would not stress over it too much, but I have both, so I can choose between either. Next, there is Valor Armor Boots. I got these, I think... Yeah, from when I was farming Johnny Ringo for the Absorb Ring on Musket, these, it's just like the Absorb Hat. You can run that or you can run a Fort. They're both either of them is what I would recommend. The other options, Vicious Charge, once again, if you don't have it on a pet. If you don't have Brutal on a pet, you can run that. Or if you really wanted the extra Assassin Strike and Gloom, you could run those, but I prefer to have either Fort or once in a while an Absorb. For the weapon, so hands down the best weapon for Swash in 3v3 is Staff of Power. It's Vengeance Shroud. If you do not know what that means, it's a group curse, meaning that it applies to everyone on the enemy team, and they cannot heal for 5 turns. It's extremely good, and it's good pressure, and also if you're pushing, they cannot get group heals off, they cannot get singular heals off. It's very, very, very strong. Extremely good. I got this from the Tower Mu Manchu. It only took me like 40 runs, but I know some people who have done like over 100 runs before they got this. So yeah, it's definitely hard to farm, and I understand why so many swashbucklers do not run it, because it's just genuinely that hard to get. Next option is this Haywire Cultist set. It's literally the Warm Rage Regalia, but the Swashbuckler version, so it'll give slightly more damage for Swash, but the Regalia or that... Oh, wait, never mind. The Regalia would go off of Will if you're on Swash. So, yeah, you have to run this if you're on Swash if you want the Surge of Technomancy. It's a nice little mini purge. Decent option. You could run Boarding Knives for the extra Assassin. I don't find myself in terrible need of an extra Assassin. I mean, Vengeance Shard is just better. But it's obviously an alternative. You can buy it in the crown shop for like about 6,000 crowns, I believe. And then final option is going to be Darkseid Daggers. It's an extra gloom. I feel like this is more better than the extra assassin for team PvP. I got this from ranked PvP. Yeah. And then there is one other thing. You can go hybrid. You can either have the gloom hybrid or the normal haywire hybrid. You can run that, but I don't have my Swashbuckler trained for that, and I don't really care enough to farm for the weapon. For the Eyepatch, hands down the best Eyepatch is the Asclepius Talisman. I got this from Talos Second Chance Chest, but if you do not want to spend crowns, you can easily farm it from like Discalos or Xena. Probably the easiest places to farm that. So yeah, hands down, the best Eyepatch is the Valor's Fortress. There is a revive Eyepatch that you could run if you genuinely do not have this one, but the Asclepius Talisman is 100% the play. Dispel Technomage's Glasses. I have seen some people run this on Swash. I would prefer to run it on a different class, like Private or Musket or something else. But, you know, it is an option, but that's just, I would rather go for the Fort and run the Dispel on a different character. For the Totem, this Radiant Crystal Ornament from the Tower of Mu Manchu. There is a level 65 version that's like gives 1 extra weapon power, but it's not really worth it. There's a level 55, 60, and 65 version. Whichever one you get, it does not matter. It's not a stat-based game. The powers matter more, so, you know, it's not really... I don't have membership. Like, you know, I'm not going to get membership just to farm for 1 extra weapon power. It does not really matter. But yeah, it's a Walk in Darkness Assassin Strike. Super, super nice. Extra hides are always good because you got to stay slippery and sneaky. And the extra assassins, you know, more solid hits are very, very good. Now the other option is Stormzilla Egg. If you want the extra fort, you can go ahead and run the extra fort. It's a decent alternative. I have seen some people like Abe run like 4 forts on Swash. In my opinion, that's a little bit too much, but you know, if you want, you can run like 4 shields on Swash. Go ahead. For the locket, or for the charm, there's 2 main options. Actually, 3. There's like 3 options, but let's be honest. Like, you can run a revive in any of these slots, but for team PvP, it's not gonna be as important. Sprocket Key is the main one I use. It's a purge, right? It moves all buffs in the area, so it's great for taking down a forted unit if they get in the way. And the other thing is, it does not remove hides, so if I'm already hidden, I can purge without being scared that I will get like, you know, get targeted by everyone the next turn. So yeah, nice. The other one that I will run sometimes is Right Hand Locket. I will mainly use this if I'm going like the poison monster type Swash, where I just bring a ton of glooms. But mainly I will use Sprocket Key for team PvP. Specifically 3v3. And then finally for the ring, we have Brain Thief Circle. It's a gloom assassin, right? Extra poison, extra assassin. You know, you gotta love those poisons. The assassins for when you come out of your hide are very, very good. Great damage. Now, finally, let's go over the pet. My pet is not perfect, but it has the basics it's honestly a very, very good pet. So let's go over it. First, it has the Selfish Hoodoo Touch, which is pretty much useless. Like, I've had it one time in a match cheese someone and like make it so they couldn't really go for crits, but like for the most part, pretty useless. I would rather have something like a Rainbow Blessing or like a Rally, even like a Backstab or something, but that's fine, whatever. Now let's go over the actual good part. So the Brutal Charge, that's honestly, if you had a Swash pet, I would say the most 2 important things for like 1v1 or team PvP would be having Grant's Elusive and Grant's Brutal Charge. Actually, for a little while before I had a good pet, I was running a pet that literally just gave brutal charge and elusive, and it's just honestly so good that you cannot really complain. Very good powers. Very good power, brutal charge. It's a reduce, and you get 2 times movement. Super nice. Kraken's Lament. This is a lot better for 1v1 and team PvP where there's a lot of musketeers. It's not going to be quite as useful, but in the late game you can tank Privateer and like Swashbuckler, maybe even Buccaneer hits if they have a Buccaneer. So I keep it like in my late game deck. It's like a fort, but only against melee hits, but it's not too bad for a pet grant. Next we have elusive. So I already have elusive 2 trained. Like literally every single Swashbuckler should always have elusive 2 trained. So yeah, I have elusive 2 trained. Not sure why people are reporting to me. Oh, that's my friend. But yeah, I have elusive trained. Super nice. The most important thing, because you're a swash, you want to be able to dodge, get riposte chains, all that good stuff. So yeah, the elusive super nice. Next we have relentless. Good for getting extra chains. Alright, we're back. Yeah, elusive, it's great when you're under half health, you can get riposte chains. Alright, relentless, it's great extra chains. I have relentless 1 trained, so I can have a total of 3 extra hits from my relentlesses. Super nice. Now, hold the line. This is pretty cheesy, because when you're hidden, you know, they can just run to hold the line and completely forget about it. I would probably rather have tied 2. But I don't know. Sometimes hold line is super cheesy, and I've seen people get killed by purge because they'll try to run past me, but then they'll get hit by hold the line, and then I'm able to purge them. Extremely good. Extremely cheesy. And then finally we've turned the tide. So when you're under half health, you get extra damage. If I had tied 2, I would also get extra accuracy, but just extra damage is already good enough. So yeah. Next, let's go over my power setup. First, in slot number 1, we have got Black Fog. Super nice to pull. It's a fog, right? Trying to pull that fog early game so I can go for a fog push. I can use it to, you know, fog my Chantal for a sniper shot, get a bunch of damage. It can be good for getting combos, and it can also just be good for pushing up. Super nice, especially if I have a rushing team. Yeah. Next, we have Vengeance Shroud in slot 2. This is also... These are the 2 most important cards to pull. Vengeance Shroud in slot 2. It's the group curse, right? It's great to have it up ASAP. Number 3, we have Gunnery. If I'm going 3rd and I have my Musketeer going 2nd, I can do the Powder Monkey Palisade combo with the Gunnery. And if not, I can just use it, drop it early game for some extra damage. Your only 2 combo hits you really have are Ghost Will and Gunnery, unless you have like a Soul Reaver pet. So, you know, I have them up here for early game combos, and then I can start pushing to the mid game, right, and start moving up for poisons. So yeah, nice Ghost Will. Once again, just a long range combo hit. Whatever, pretty self-explanatory. We got crit buff on slot 5. It's a great move. It's a great ability to use if you have nothing else to do. Nice 10 rounds, and if you can buff up some poisons, maybe get some criticals, that's great. Slot 6, we have Gloom. I like to have, you know, Gloom up this high to make sure I can pull one. I got a hide on slot 7. You're going to notice I have all my 5-turn hides up here because I want to be able to pull one and start poisoning as soon as possible. So I have the hide right there. Slot 8 is a mini fort. I can use it on myself or whatever. It's kind of like a shadow dance. It's a great thing to use if you do not have much to do. Number 9, we have a fort. If we need to use a fort on ourselves or on a different pirate, we have it up here, so it'll be ready. Slot 10, we got Purge, obviously, if people rush, or if we just find a good early game Purge for some reason, like we're behind their lines, we have it up there and ready. Number 11, we have Assassin Shroud, right? This is the curse. This is the poison curse, not the goop curse. I have a normal poison above it because this is a lot of times going to be better for mid to late game. So I have a Gloom up higher than that. Assassin's Gloom right after that, getting those poisons ready. Number 13, we have Brutal. If we need to go reduce someone or we want to just go charge across the map, gotta get that 2 times movement reduce. 14, we have an Assassin. You know, I'm mainly poisoning, but if I find a good target to assassin, I can do that. And, you know, I'm not just hiding the whole match, right? Valor's Armor, slot 15. It's a VA, pretty self-explanatory. Another hide. You know, my hides are running out. Gotta be able to pull these other hides down here. My other fort. Yep. Extra assassin. Nice. And the rest is pretty self-explanatory. The one other thing that I will say is the reason why I have this Kraken's Lament down here so far is due to the fact that it's usually way better during late game, because early game there's usually a lot of musketeer units. So yeah, I got the Lament right there. Now let's go over what do I have trained. So I have Naturally Spooky. This is the best you can have, but if you do not have Naturally Spooky already trained, that is all good. It's just a little bit of extra damage to your poisons and whatnot. No big deal. For the powers that I have trained real quick, let's see. I have up to Valor's Shield from the Privateer Trainer, and I believe that's it. Oh, yeah, up to Valor's Shield on the Privateer Trainer, and then a Ghost Whale. That's all for the powers. Talents, let's see, what do I have? I have Spooky 2, great for buffing up your poison damage and your assassin bleed damage. We got Witch Hunter trained. What else? And then we have up to Relentless trained, none of the prerequisites for that. And then we, of course, have Elusive 2 trained. So, yeah, that is what I have trained. And now, let's go over my companions and how I have them set. This is not a companion guide video, but I will just tell you how I have them set. Lemba Moonskull, if he's allowed, that's how I have him set. Buffalo Bill is honestly great. He's a 5-range unit. He's got True Grit 3. Kind of underrated in my opinion.
Ahoy!
Let me just tell you, mainly what I would run if Lemba's allowed, I would probably run like Lemba, Exeter, and like Nausicaa or something like that, or like, you know, Lemba, Bonnie, Nausicaa, something like that. And if Lemba's not allowed, then I'd probably run something like Bonnie, Nausicaa, Bill, or Exeter probably. Yeah. So that's how I have her. That's how I have Bonnie set right here. Pretty good. Nausicaa. So the reason why I have her not set for stuns is because I don't play with my Swash in 3v3 as much. I more use my Swash for 2v2 and 1v1. So I like to have the extra chains. But for 3v3, I would recommend having True Grit 3 and no double tap. Exeter, I have him set with Overwatch 3 and True Grit 3.
Yes.
Wu-Tang, more used for 2v2s when there's no Privy. Fan, nice charging companion, nice Cloud Spirit. I ever set with Blade Storm because with so many musket units in a 3v3, you know, the Blade Storm is going to be better. And then also in 1v1s, I just find the Blade Storm useful. Contessa, pretty normal setup with Relentless. Goro, that's how he's set. Toro, not going to use him much in 1v1, or in 3v3, more for 1v1. And more for 1v1 and 2v2. Subadai, don't think I'd use him much. So that is how I have my companion set. And I think that's it, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's it. So that's my Swashbuckler 3v3 power setup, guide, all that good stuff, the gear. So yeah, thank you so much guys for watching. If you did enjoy it or anything, just please leave a like, please subscribe. I appreciate you guys so much. And thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.